questions for you. You're from Vernon, British Columbia.
Yes.
Are you 16 now?
Yeah, I turned 16 in August.
I know I may have already asked you some of these, but
It's okay.
I talked to a gazillion people and I'm just like, oh. Okay, 16 years old. How many hours have you logged now? Because it said 65 on the article I read.
I'm at 90.
90. Holy moly. How about, so what do you hold? Do you hold a PPL?
No, recreational.
So is
Permit.
it, you're now a pilot holding a recreational pilot license? Is that how I say that?
A recreational pilot permit. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same. I just can only have one passenger.
Okay, so let's talk. I'm going to put that down as a question too, to explain to people what that means. Okay, so I marked down some questions. I'll just tell you a couple of them now. It's going to be things like, why did you want to become a pilot? You know, how did your parents support you? Does it affect your schoolwork? Your favorite subject in school? I have those two pictures. So at one point we can talk about the pictures. Those are great pictures, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm going to talk about your friends. Like, are any of them interested in becoming a pilot? And then I'm going to ask you a couple things like, has COVID changed? How do you feel about the industry? And how do you think we attract more people like you into the industry? So really sort of just conversational, everything you know. If there's anything I ask you and you're like, I don't want to answer that, don't answer, like just whatever you know what I mean? Like don't feel uncomfortable about anything. So if there's something, I'll know, I'll hopefully know if you look uncomfortable or something, we'll
Okay.
I'll ask you another question or whatever. But yeah, it's sort of exactly like the chat that we had earlier.
Okay.
And yeah, so you know, some people might ask you questions. If they do, they'll mark on the chat and then I'll ask you. And
Okay. Is it like they're on the Zoom too?
so there's some people on the Zoom and it's all different. Like sometimes there's a lot and sometimes there's a few, it just depends. So, and then it goes out on Facebook Live at the same time. And afterwards we put it on our podcast and we put it on our website. So
Okay.
you'll have a link to it later if you want. And
Cool.
yeah, and then also you chatted with Brian a little bit. Did you talk to him email
Yeah.
or?
Just through email, yeah. I don't know. I talked to him and then he asked for my resume.
Yeah, I
I
saw
sent
that.
it to him. I was like, I don't like just my normal resume. I wasn't really sure. So, and
I'm like,
I don't know. He didn't email me after that.
Like, does she have a resume at 16? Or I was gonna call Brian and say, no, you don't need a resume anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. So we have a bunch of different lunch talks, and you're one of them, and Brian's your host. So I really wanted you to be with Sophia so you can meet Sophia, but oh well, it's be fine.
Yeah. And I signed up for your guys' mentorship program too.
Oh, let me mark that down too. Did anyone get a hold of you yet?
Yeah, the Alexa, I think her name is.
Oh, Alexia?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
And she gave me a number to call, but I just haven't yet because I've been busy.
So, Alexia, see this picture behind me?
Yes.
This is, I can't remember if we talked about this before, but this is the squadron that I'm the honorary colonel of. And Alexia was a commanding officer of the squadron. And she's the reason that I'm an honorary colonel, which most people don't know what an honorary colonel is. We had that last week to try to explain to people. But yeah, she is fantastic. And she can wave her magic wand and make things happen. So
yeah,
she's
really nice.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad that you got connected with Alexia. That makes me really happy and excited because she's fantastic. Really, really, really fantastic lady. So, so that's good. And that's what I want to talk to you about, because you said you wanted to go to Royal Roads College, right?
No, Royal Military College.
Royal Military College.
Yeah, RMC. Hey, Mom. Did Dad already leave?
Oh, your mom there too?
Okay, I'm gonna go sit in the back. Yeah, she's right here. Yeah. I'm just gonna. What time are you leaving at? Oh, okay. I'm gonna stay here then. Okay. Never mind then.
Okay, I'm just gonna put I didn't put the RMC in here. Where did I put? I'll stay here.
Is it gonna be the whole hour, or does it kind of just go until?
We'll wing it. We'll wing it.
Okay.
You know, even if we do 20 minutes, that'll be good. We definitely, I don't plan on filling in the whole hour, because it's
Okay.
the stuff filling in a whole hour. So we'll probably do, I'm guessing we're gonna do, my guess is about 30 minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah, totally. I don't have anything else to do, so.
Okay. Now, when we're talking, so I'm going to do a little intro. So I'll introduce you. I'm going to talk about Elevate for a second, and then I'll introduce you. And then we'll just talk exactly like this, like just pretend that we'll continue the conversation. And are you nervous?
Not really. No.
Good for
A
you.
little that I won't know what to talk about, but.
I saw, that's okay. If we're running out of questions or whatever, we'll just wrap it up.
Okay.
What I did see a post someplace, I think from a BC pilots group.
Oh yeah,
Who?
probably BCGA.
BCGA. Maybe we'll talk about them, give them a shout out, see what they are.
Yeah, for sure.
So BCGA.
Yeah, I'm more a part of the 99s. I do more stuff with them than with BCGA.
So 99s. What's your involvement? Can I ask you what your involvement is in that? Would that be a question that would work?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that'd be good. I can talk about that.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to talk about?
Nothing in particular besides. Sure. Nothing in particular besides what you've already said.
Okay.
Nothing I can think of right now.
If there's anything at all that you want to talk about that I don't mention, then just throw it out there.
Okay.
So your mom and dad work together?
Yeah, my dad owns a security alarm company, and then my mom, she owned a coffee shop, but then she sold it, and now she's kind of a secretary for my dad. So
That's cool. They work together.
yeah.
Want everyone to do that. Okay, I am going to go live on Facebook now, because it takes me a couple minutes to get it going. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll open the doors, and then we'll start talking.
Okay.
It'll be fun. Okay. Sorry, it just takes me a second to go through all the little links here. Why is it so slow right now? Sorry, it's being really slow. Okay, that's good.
That's okay.
Okay, here we go. Okay, we'll get that going, get that started. Here we go. Okay, and I'm going to start the webinar. And so, hi to anyone who's joining us on Facebook. And here we go, we're going to start. Okay. All right. Here we go. So, hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here at Airtime. I'm just getting things all set up. Welcome. Thanks for choosing to spend some time with us. It's always great to talk to guests about what they do inside the aviation industry. And today we have possibly our youngest guest ever. I believe it is our youngest guest ever. So I'm so excited to dive in and talk to Kensie about her journey to become a pilot. But first, I just want to say again, welcome to Airtime. It is a webinar series and a podcast series now brought to you by Elevate Aviation. You can find more of these webinars on our website, elevateaviation.ca. And you can also find our podcasts at the same location or wherever you find podcasts. So Elevate Aviation is a nonprofit organization inspired to get women to come into aviation. We do all kinds of things like bursaries and speaking engagements. We have a learning center in Edmonton with a vision to create that to be a very large, massive learning center. And if you want to know more about anything we do or become a part of it, whether a mentor or a mentee or a sponsor or just get to know more about what we're doing, please contact us at info@elevateaviation.ca. Okay, so my guest today is from Vernon, British Columbia. She is 16 years old, Kensie Hewson. Hewson, am I saying that right?
Yeah, you are.
Okay. So Kensie doesn't need a driver's license to explore the Okanagan where she lives, the beautiful Okanagan. If you've never been there, it is a place to vacation for sure if you can't live there. Since she was 13 years old, she had her eye on the sky. And since then, she has logged 90 hours in the air and now holds a recreation pilot permit. So I wanted to have Kensie on today because we're always trying to encourage young women to look at aviation. And Kensie, hi Kensie, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And you know what? You are a wonderful role model for people. Like for the people that we're trying to get into aviation, you're such a role model. Like I have so many questions for you because, you know, you started getting your pilot license at 14, right?
Yeah, I did a couple flights when I was 13, but I did the majority of it when I was 14 and 15.
14 and 15. Okay. Well, you know what? As we go along, we talk. Anyone that's joined us on Zoom today, if you guys have questions as we go along, please throw them in the Q&A down there. Feel free to ask Kensie some questions. So Kensie, okay, I have to ask the obvious question. Why did you want to become a pilot? Now, my guess is that one of your parents are a pilot. Am I right?
My grandparents are pilots. So my dad's dad, my grandpa, he was a Air Canada pilot, and then his brother, so my dad's uncle, is an Air Canada pilot, and then their grandpa was an Air Force pilot. So a lot of my dad's side of the family is pilots. And then I kind of got into flying because I knew someone who was my age and he started flying. So then I just went up for a fam flight.
Really? So,
Yeah.
and so was it a fellow student that was flying?
Yeah, he's 2 years older than me. So, and then my parents are friends with his parents. So, and we were talking to them one day and we didn't know that he had his pilot's license. And then he's like, yeah, you can get your pilot's license when you're 16. So then I was like, oh, maybe I should do that. And then I went up and from
So
there on, I kept going.
what was it? What was it? Like, can you even put to words what it was that sort of made you go, maybe I should do that? Like, Did it just sound interesting, or did something hit you and said,
Um,
"Oh, I wanna do this?"
I just thought it would be really cool because I mean, flying a plane sounds really cool, and it wasn't really something that I thought that I could do, and then you could, so then I went up, and I don't really know what it was, but yeah, I really liked it.
So, why did you think you couldn't do it? Was it more, um, like you just didn't think of it, or you just didn't think it was possible for you?
Um, I don't really know, I just kinda I don't know, when you see planes flying, you're like, "Oh," you never really think of, "Oh, maybe I could be flying the plane," but I didn't think it was something for someone so young to be able to do it, and yeah, I don't know, it just never really occurred to me that you could.
Okay, so this is I think this is sort of the area that everybody is trying to figure out. Like, you
Yeah.
see airplanes in the sky, right? You go on vacation, if you get to go on vacation, not now. Uh,
Yeah.
but you go on vacation, you see airplanes in the sky. If you're by an airport, you see them. There's a tower there. Uh, like, what's the disconnect? Like, why do people see these things? Why do you think people see these airplanes in the sky and don't actually wonder?
I don't know, because I mean, I even felt that way, so I don't know, there's just a lot, especially for young people, it's not really advertised that you can do that, so I think if there were more programs for younger people even, but we have lots, so I don't really know what else could be done, but it just seems so hard to get into when you don't know anything about it.
Yeah, yeah. These are hard questions too. Like, just trying to figure out the problem that everyone's been trying to figure out for so
Yeah.
long. So okay, so this guy said, "I'm a pilot," and you said, "Oh, can I go for a ride?" Sort of thing. And then what happened? So you went out to the flight, and he did he take you for a flight?
No, well, I was more talking to his dad, and then he said, "Oh, well, there's an instructor at Vernon," and then I he told me the name of her company, and then I called her, and my parents helped me set up a flight with her because I was still 13, so I was pretty young.
And what was the name
Yeah.
of that flying school?
It was called Full Moon Air Services.
Okay.
I It's not around anymore. It was just one girl, and I didn't actually fly with her for very long. I switched when I was almost 15, so just turning 15. So I was still 14. And then I did a couple flights out of Kelowna. And then I really liked that instructor. And he actually started his own flying company in Vernon, which I did most of my training with.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I was at 3 different flight schools.
Uh, And was it that first flight that it hit you that this is what you wanted to do?
I definitely knew that I wanted to get my license, but I wasn't 100% that I wanted to be a pilot when I was older. Just, I honestly don't really know what it was, but I just liked it the first time so much, so I kept going, and then now it's more serious, and it's something I wanted to do after I graduate high school.
Right. Okay. Perry's asking a question here. He says, "What is it like to be one of the youngest pilots, not just in Canada but in the world?" Um, and and the three aspects of getting your license from your first solo to your solo cross country to your flight test. Which was your favorite and why? So first of all, okay, let's ask that. What's it like being so young? Like, are
It's definitely weird because, like, I know a lot of pilots, right? And a lot of them are young, like, in their 20s, right? But being 16, there's a lot of people that don't really trust me to go flying. So, yeah, it's definitely weird. I mean, everyone that most of, like, my family and everything, they all trust me enough to go flying with me, but I don't know, there's just, like, a certain part of being young that I don't really know how to explain it, but some people are like, "No, you can't be a pilot, no."
Okay, my son's 22 and he's taking his flight instructor rating right now. He's almost done. And I'm nervous to fly with him. And he's 20.
Yeah,
But it's more of I mean, I'm in aviation and I know aviation. But, and anyway, I get that. But at 16, yeah, like that's like, to your friends.
yeah.
So, like,
I've
wow.
had a couple of friends go with me actually. My best friend though, her mom's a little worried, so she hasn't gone with me yet.
Now, do
Yeah.
you understand that or does it upset you?
Oh, no, I completely understand it. I mean, my parents don't really want me driving up a ski hill with some of my friends that got their licenses, so I mean, it makes sense.
They're okay with you going and flying around in the sky.
Yeah.
Okay, so and Perry, we'll get back to the second part of your question in a sec, but your parents, what's their involvement in this? Like, I'm assuming you had some good support from your parents in order to do this?
Yeah, actually, my dad really pushed me to get into it because he's always liked flying, and he after about 6 months into me getting my license, he started getting his license, and now he has more hours than me and a private license, so he kinda surpassed me there. But,
Yeah,
yeah, no, they've been super supportive. My mom when I got my license, my mom sent information to, like, local news and the Morning Star, and then I did a bunch of interviews, so she's very proud.
uh, that's amazing. I think that's so amazing that your parents were proud of you. And so at your age, like, okay, we all know it's not a secret that it's expensive to become a pilot. So
Yes.
to do it at your age, is that because your parents can help you a lot along the way, or are there other ways
Yeah,
people?
they helped me at the beginning. So my dad paid for about half of it, and then the last 2 summers, I started working lots, and then I I paid for a lot of it, and, I mean, there's scholarships you can get too, but I found that being 15, a lot of the scholarships weren't available to me because they were all you had to be 16 or not, but then you can't be over 10 hours, like, be younger and not have over 10 hours, so I was just excluded from a lot of the scholarships, but
Oh,
there's definitely lots that you can get.
right. Oh, that's interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so Perry's asking, out of the three aspects of getting your license, from your first solo to your solo cross country to your flight test, which was your favorite and why?
Solo, for solo, definitely.
Yeah. Was
Um,
it scary?
and yeah, yeah, it was pretty fun. I liked it just because at the airport that I am at, it's just such a tight-knit community, so there was a bunch of people there, and it was just really nice and relaxing, not super stressful, like, my flight test was pretty stressful. So, yeah, and then you get up in the air and you're like, "Oh my god, I'm flying a plane by myself." So, that was pretty cool.
Was there a big party when you landed, or like, is it a big deal, or is it just you land and that's it?
Um,
Or is there pizza?
there was, like, a little bit of celebration, but nothing too eccentric, so I like that too. It was
So,
not a super.
how did that feel? Like, how did it feel flying by yourself for the first time? Like, I just can't imagine. I'm not a pilot, so
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. I don't even really I was so focused on, like, "Oh my god, I'm by myself, I have to land the plane now." So, I didn't have a bunch of time to take it in, but it was definitely the coolest experience of my life.
how long was it, your first solo?
Only under 5 minutes. I just did a circuit, so 3 minutes, maybe.
Oh, okay, so between takeoff and landing and, like, yeah, you're right, you don't have a lot of time to think about what you're doing, probably, like, it's from the nerve.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you must have been so proud of yourself.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are my parents and my family are really proud of me, but I don't know. I've never really it doesn't I don't know how to explain it. I'm definitely proud of myself, but it doesn't seem like such a big accomplishment now that I have it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Do you consider yourself a role model for other young girls?
Not necessarily. I've helped a couple people get into flying now, and I like doing that. It's really nice helping people who are in the same situation that I was in.
Okay, so let's move into school for a second. So you work, you're
Yes.
getting your pilot license, and you're flying, and you're going to school. How does this affect your schoolwork at all? Are your teachers maybe
Not
on it?
too much. Um, it doesn't really affect my schoolwork that much because I did most of my training last year, so I was in grade 10 and I didn't have very serious classes in grade 10. So yeah, it doesn't really affect it as much.
Okay, so what is your favorite subject?
It's a tie between math and science.
Of course it is. Okay,
Yeah.
then I ask, do you think you need to take, like, do you encourage people to take, and do they need to take math and science in order to become a pilot?
No, you definitely don't need it. I probably lower level maths just to be able to you have to be able to do mental math, and higher levels math isn't about mental math, so definitely don't need it.
Okay, because I do think that is sometimes discourages people from becoming like pilots or air traffic controllers because they think that you have to, have physics, you know,
Yeah,
physics.
not too much.
Okay. So, what about your friends then? So I'm assuming you have some time for friends. Do you have time for friends, or do you not really? Because like, when do you fit them in your life?
Yeah, I do have time for friends. I'm not working too much right now just because COVID shut everything down, so my job's not really I don't have a lot of work right now. So I'm I snowboard lots and that's kind of what I do with my friends.
Oh, nice.
I do have time for them. Yeah.
Wow. It sounds like you have a pretty good life going on.
Yeah, nothing I would change.
Oh, that's really good. So, I take it after this conversation, you don't drive a car?
I have my learners, so I do with my parents, but not by myself.
So you were able to fly by yourself before you could drive. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I soloed when I was 15, so yeah, and I did my flight test a week before I did my L test. Yeah, I completely got my pilot's license before my driver's.
Wow. So, like, what's making you stay so committed to this?
I not a single sentence that I could say would really explain that. I just like it. I like the freedom of being able to go wherever I want. So
Yeah. So
nothing really particular that I can think of, just that I want to do it.
well, maybe that's it. Like, having a passion for something, you don't need to be encouraged to do it. You just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Um, okay. So I have a couple pictures here. Let's just see if I can share my screen. Share my screen. So here are two pictures. What is this picture right here?
That one, okay, that was right after my first solo. So like I was still in the plane, still had my seatbelt on for my first solo.
Oh, look at the beautiful scenery out there. It must be beautiful flying out there.
It is, it's pretty nice.
Wow. Look at that. Looks so exciting. How does that not encourage other people to want to be a pilot? And then this one?
That actually, my grandpa has a friend who flies for Kelowna Flightcraft, which is just a aircraft company, and their head test his job is he flies the owner around, and he was doing a training thing. So he actually took me in the it's a Beechcraft premiere, and he took me in it, and I got to fly in the right seat.
It looks like a pretty nice airplane.
Oh yeah, it was the nicest one I've ever been in by far.
So then let's talk about that for your career. Is that something that you want to do, or do you have another area that you want to go into?
So I definitely want to be a pilot. I mean, I'm only 16, so things can definitely change. But right now, I'm really interested in the Air Force and getting my education paid for and getting a degree. So going to the Royal Military College and then maybe becoming a military pilot and then maybe becoming an airline pilot after. I'm everything. I'm only 16, right? So everything can change, but that's what I'm really interested in right now.
So when you're thinking of the military, are you thinking like you want to become an F-18 pilot?
Yes, that would be very cool. Yes.
I hope you become an F-18 pilot.
I hope so too.
There's one in Alberta here. Her name is Kat, and she's training up there right now to become an F-18 pilot. And when she completes her training, I believe she'll be the seventh female F-18 pilot in Canada. And so
Yeah.
hopefully you won't be the eighth. Hopefully there'll be other women that become the eighth
Yeah.
by the time that you get there. But wow, that'd be pretty cool. That you know that's a pretty cool goal that you have.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, congratulations on that. Okay, so how about mentorship? What do you think of mentorship? Have you had a mentor along the way? Do you consider your parents your mentor? Or is there someone else that's been in your life that's really encouraged you?
Um, yeah, I have there's one guy in Vernon, and he actually was a fighter pilot in Canada. He's been really helpful with the whole Air Force thing and figuring that out and getting me connected with other Air Force people. So he's definitely been a really big help with that. But that was more after I got my license. There wasn't really anyone besides flight instructors during getting my license. But yeah.
Wow. Well, it's an important goal. Those flight instructors have an important job, don't they? Like, it
Yeah.
would really be an integral part to you enjoying the training or not.
Yeah, I had a really good flight instructor at the last place I went to. So the place that I did the majority of my training.
And what, male or female?
He was a guy. His name is Claudio.
Claudio. Wow. Way to go, Claudio, if you're watching.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing such a good job. Um, Perry has another question. He says, the Okanagan is in the mountains, and in the summer it gets hot. Do you run into a lot of density altitude issues?
Not too many. It definitely is a concern just getting out of our airport because we're kind of in a valley. But when you fly around here, it doesn't, you just learn how to get around it.
Wow. Well, you're so lucky to live out there.
It's
I'll tell you,
really pretty flying.
oh my goodness, I can't imagine flying out there. It's so beautiful out there. Wow. Um, okay, so I want to ask you for a second about COVID. Okay, so you have this dream, you're gonna become a pilot, and look what COVID's done to the aviation industry right now. Do you think, like, has COVID affected your dreams at all, or do you have zero concern about COVID and can push through?
Um, I think I'm kind of in the good age where I still have a year and a half before I graduate. So I don't think it's gonna affect me too much, but I mean I don't want to jinx it. It's definitely affected a lot of people though that are getting their commercials and trying to become airline pilots. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully it's going to be over soon.
yeah, I really hope so.
So, tell me, how do we get other people like you in the aviation industry? What can we do?
Um, well, the main thing for me was I just didn't know you could do it. So and we already do a lot of this, just somehow making it more available. And I think that COPA for kids, do you know what that is?
Mm,
Yeah, I think that's really good. My cousin actually went and did it and he really liked it. Like that kind of stuff is really good. It just some somewhere along the lines it's not getting out there that you can actually do it so young. I don't know if there's just one specific thing that we could do to fix it, but just more knowledge of being able how to do it.
yeah. Well, what you're doing here today, even, speaking about it, and then, if girls see you talking about this, then I think that helps. I think it helps.
Yeah.
We'll keep doing it. Um, before we wrap up, I want to talk about the 99s. So you're involved with the 99s?
Yeah, I am. So the 99s is a whole world thing. It's the international organization of 99s. And it's this really great organization. They have about a couple thousand members everywhere now. And it's just they have scholarships and they do a lot to get females interested in aviation. So I'm actually a member of the Canadian Rockies chapter, which is the interior of BC. Yeah, we have about 15 members now in our chapter. So we've actually grown a lot in the last year. We didn't have too many. But
And
yeah.
I know you must be the youngest. So, like, are you the youngest by far, or are there other young people that are getting involved with the 99s out there in your chapter?
There's some young people. Definitely there's people that are getting, I would say in their mid-20s and they're getting their instructor rating, commercial ratings. But it's definitely not younger people dominated.
Okay, so what do you want to say to the people who might be watching this and say, well, maybe I want to try being a pilot. What can they do? Like, what is the first step they can do?
You have to find a flight school. So just you can go, or I find that flying clubs actually work really well. So if you have a local airport, you can go to the flying club and they're most of the people there are more than happy to help you. They're very helpful for me. And just try and find a flying school and they'll take you up and then they kind of take care of the rest.
Okay. Right on. And just to let people know as well, of course, you can contact us at Elevate Aviation. And if you don't know what to do, like take Kensie's advice, call a flying club, flying school to say, hey, a discovery flight. Do you want to talk about the discovery flight because they can request a discovery flight, right?
Yeah, so that's just like a half-hour flight that you go up and you actually sit in the left seat, so where you normally would fly from. And they take you up and they let you take the controls and just kind of talk about flying. And yeah, it's a really good way to get people into it. So they just get a little idea of what it's like and if they want to get their license.
Mhm. And before COVID, there was a massive shortage for airline pilots. All
Yeah,
flight instructors, like massive, massive shortage. Um, do you think that it's going to be that way again?
maybe. I'm not 100% sure. Like if the industry gets back up to where it was before COVID, then probably. And yeah, but I think for the first little while after COVID, it's we're gonna have a lot of pilots for what we need.
Yeah. Well, who knows what it's actually going to be? None of us know. But, I would say to people, and I think you would agree because you're doing it, is don't let it stop you. If your dream is become a pilot, right? Like, don't let that stop you. Industry's
Oh yeah.
down and this is just a down right now.
Yeah. I mean, people are always gonna have to travel. So there's always gonna be something. It just might not be super in demand in the next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? Like we said, so if you have any interest, if you're watching Kenzie and you're saying, hey, I want to do that rather than sit in a desk and have a desk job. I want to have the sky as my office. Um, Call a flying club, find a flying school around you, call us at Elevate Aviation and we'll hook you up with a mentor. So Kenzie, let's just talk about that for a second. So you have been assigned a mentor just recently, and I don't even know if you've met her yet. Have you actually met her yet? You haven't, right? You said?
I haven't. No, I have her phone number. I just got it like 3 days ago.
Okay.
I'm actually was gonna call her the next couple days. I've just been super busy, but no, you guys got back to me like within 2 days. It's really
Great.
great.
Well, so Kenzie wants to be in the military. So this is what we do. We hooked Kenzie up with Alexia, who is up in Cold Lake in Alberta in the military. And she's going to take Kenzie from here and help however we can. And it's free. Like just hooking people up with a mentor. It's free. Call us, and we'll hook you up with somebody who can help you along the way. And like Kenzie, there's lots of people that make this happen, right? Like from your parents to your flight instructor to Lexi's going to help you to your friend that you were talking about. Like it's a solo journey, but it's not a solo journey. Like it takes a lot of support, and yeah, so I'm so proud of you at your age. This is incredible. Okay, is there anything else that you would like to say to young girls who might want to do this and might be afraid?
Just don't be afraid to call everyone at the airport, especially the older people who don't have are retired and don't have anything better to do. They would be more than happy to help you get into flying.
Yeah, that's a really good point, right? Like they might think, oh, I'm too nervous to
Yeah.
call, but the people on the other side are waiting, right? Call us,
Yeah.
help us.
Yeah.
We want to get you in this industry. Okay. Okay. Well, you know what? I can't thank you enough for doing this. I look forward to when we can get back out in public, um, calling you and see if you want to come out and speak at some of our events to the girls, because I think it's important to have people your age speaking to people your age and
Yeah.
get into aviation. So I can't thank you enough for being here. I really appreciate it, and good luck with your journey.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. It was really fun. A little was a little nervous. I
It
won't
was
lie.
great. It was easy.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, just make me a promise.
Okay.
When you graduate from being an F-18 pilot, I want an invitation to the graduation.
Okay. Yes, 100%. If COVID's not still around.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. I wanna help celebrate that day. You know what? I can't wait. I'm sure Alexia will introduce you to Kat, the lady who's training up there now to be an F-18 pilot. So you'll get to meet her and you will love her. And I can't wait for you two to get together and talk and really see what it's like to train for an F-18 pilot. So good luck.
yeah.
All.
Mhm. Awesome.
Okay, well, thanks again, and we will see you sometime in the near future, I am sure.
Yeah, hopefully when COVID's over.
Yes. Yeah, I can't wait. We can't wait. We want to get airplane and fly again. One day you'll be
Yeah.
flying.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much, Kenzie. And thank you everyone for watching today. If you know any young kids that you think might like to get into aviation, you can get a link for this and you can share this with them. And maybe Kenzie will inspire them to make that call and go on a discovery flight and see if they fall in love with being a pilot. If you want to get involved with us, it's elevateaviation.ca. You can check out what we're doing. And thanks all for being here today. And if you're listening on the podcast, thanks for listening. And see you next time. Bye bye, Kenzie. Bye,
Bye.
everybody. Thanks so much. See ya.